name is Drew Wardle, and this is Look at Music. In the coming weeks, I'll be taking an insightful look into the popular and underground music scene in our upstate region. I'll be talking to talented musicians, songwriters, producers, as well as the masters behind the scenes who make important music events happen. Today, I'm joined by someone who has for the better part of 6 years contributed to the underground music scene. And now, well, he's taking on the whole city. Brian Michael, who is the owner of Heady Productions, is responsible for organizing the upcoming Gem Festival on July 30th. It's Glens Falls' very first rock music festival for the younger bands. So stay with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Look at the Music. My name is Drew Wardle, and today on the show we have the fantastic Brian Michael. Hey there, Brian. How's it going? Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
No, not a problem. So last time we saw each other was at the Sunset Indie Sessions in Glens Falls.
Yeah, and you played a late night set for us. Were you able to stick around?
I stuck around for that last band there, was Melodies.
Okay.
So I heard the Police turned up.
Yeah, you know what? It's because of ordinance laws. You know, we like to do them outside in the summertime, and you can't go past 11. So, but us being us and musicians being musicians, sometimes we like to just
push the limits a little bit.
Yeah, see just how far we can go.
Absolutely.
Know, and have some fun. It was a good time.
So this is just one of the many things that your company, Heady Productions, is responsible for.
Yeah, you know, we have done a lot of shows over the years and tried to develop a lot of different concepts. Sunset Indie Sessions, I would say 4 years ago, was an idea that I had never utilized. And essentially,
it's a great name, yeah.
I love it, and what we do is we try and get people like yourselves who are in well-known bands to do a solo set or do something special. And I think it's a really great concept, and it gives musicians who are in bands a chance to take a step back and do something that they love to do that maybe they can't do with their band necessarily all the time. So it's a good time, and I think we had, what, like 50 people there in that alleyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So I've been in Glens Falls. I used to live in Glens Falls. I lived there for about 3 years ago. I lived there for maybe a year and a half, and this is the first thing I've ever seen in terms of actually the music scene in this area coming to life. And you told me, when at Sunset Indie Sessions, you told me that you think this scene is on the verge to greatness. Like, you think there's going to be, maybe that's a strong way of putting it, but
actually I don't think it's strong. I feel very much the same. I think back now. I'm 28. I wasn't in Seattle or Portland area when those scenes were about to explode. Right, grunge was big. Nirvana's huge.
Yeah.
But I feel something in the air that, you know, there's just too much good music around here right now, and there's too much talent in this area for it not to be something that grows into something that we have no control over, exponential. And I think we're tapping into it right now.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, it's got a good area for a lot of talented musicians around. So in case you don't know, Brian Michael is the owner of Heady Productions. Yep. He's very responsible for a lot of the music activity in the scene. He's been doing this for the better part of 6 years. So let's wind back a little bit. So 6 years ago, where did you find yourself? You were in Albany, correct? Heady Productions. You had just taken over Heady Productions.
6 years ago, yeah. I'm a kid for, you know, all purpose and intent, and we didn't have anything. We had a company name, but it wasn't developed. It was something where we would host underground shows in basements of college students who would allow it to happen.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how many UAlbany students would allow that to happen. But we had a really great time. I mean, I'm talking 200 to 300 people on a regular basis would come out to these underground shows, and we would showcase very good talent, such as, you know, people like the Titanics and North and South Dakotas, things like that out of Albany would play these underground shows. And this was before they got big.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like at that moment in time, we were starting to realize, you know, this is going to grow. And I think, you know, the authorities did as well.
So something tells me you've had a few run-ins with the cops in the name of rock and roll.
In the name of rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? They're doing their job, and do respect what they do. Ultimately, they're trying to make sure that everyone's safe, and
Absolutely.
you know, there's laws in the books. You can't drink underage, things like that. That in a basement situation and setting, I can't control. There's nothing I can do.
Of course, it's not your fault. You're doing something for the community, for your friends, for the sake of music, for music's sake. You know.
Yeah.
So So sometimes things, you know, sort of develop a life of its own, gets out of control. So fast forward 6 years from now, Gem Festival, Glens Falls, happening July 30th.
July 30th is the last Saturday in July, and it is a concept which is new to Heady Productions, and I believe is new to the area in general.
Yeah.
We are going to be hosting 3 art galleries and 3 stages at 3 different venues. One thing with a festival that's starting off, it's really hard to ticket, you know, because there's no name.
It's free, correct?
Right, yeah, it's free. There's no name to Gem Festival, but we're trying to make a name for it. So this inaugural event, we're going to do it for free, and we're going to raise money in creative ways, you know, such as if you support the business by buying a smoothie at Juice and Jar, or if you get a meal at 190, or a drink at
Raffle
Mean
tickets,
Max.
correct?
Raffle tickets, yeah, exactly. So outside of the box, and I believe we're going to hit our goal. And the people who are helping me with the production end, you know, the stage, the lighting, the sound, and everything, have been absolutely, you know, generous and very receptive of the idea. They also see the vision that it's going to grow, and are really giving us a great deal. That's the reason we can do it, you know, because these things, it's more than just an idea. You have to make it real, and to make it real, you
have to be proactive about it.
Yeah.
You have to get out there and do it. So Gem Festival is happening July 30th, Glens Falls. Can't miss it. It's an all-day event. When's the first show?
We're going to kick off at 10 in the morning at Juice and Jar. There's also a farmer's market happening right next to the parking lot. So it's going to be cool. There's going to be a lot to do in the morning, and then we're going to keep going, rolling right until midnight.
Right, until midnight.
Yeah.
And your band's playing, correct?
Yeah, we're going to play. We're going to be one of the opening bands. Our band's name's Iutica. I don't know if you've heard. Your band's playing Paradox Saints at Mean Max Brewery. It's going to be a fantastic time.
Can't wait.
Later on, I actually have a huge show that I'm working on, and it's as exciting for me as Gem Festival is. So
nice.
It's going to be a very unique, tailored event for a band. I wish I could divulge some more. But.
Absolutely. Well, keep it a secret. You got to come back on the show. We'll talk some more about that if it happens.
Yeah,
but Brian, absolute pleasure.
Thank
you so much for coming on the show. It's been great. And come check Gem Festival out, July 30th in Glens Falls. It's an all-day event. You get to see all kinds of art by talented local artists, as well as hear great music by your best local musicians in the area. So come out and support the arts July 30th, and we'll see you then. And thanks again, Brian.
No problem.
And to see this interview again, you can go to looktvonline.com.